Now,
Yeah.
genre. Genre is the type of the text. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's an argumentative genre, it has persuasive, sometimes it's just a narrative, sometimes it's informative or descriptive. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to first notice and comment on what type of genre it is. Then audience, which audience it is targeting. You know what is audience? The one who
Yeah.
reads the book, the
Yeah.
readers. What audience it's targeting? Guess. S is the subject. What is the subject? That is the topic. And the last one is purpose. What is the
Mm.
purpose of the text? Now, do you know like types of purposes of the text?
I mean, like, in a sense, like, there's like, is it like raising awareness sort of thing?
Yeah, correct. Sometimes it's raising awareness is right. Like some pieces are written to inform,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes they are written to entertain. Now the books you're reading, especially the literature books and the story books you read, they are to entertain purpose, right?
But I think we also learned that there's also express. Like we
Yeah,
were told there's the expression also.
yeah. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
That is a detailed thing. I'm just giving you an
Mm.
overview. Okay.
Yeah.
To express is when you're writing something about your personal. That is narrative pieces. You're writing something about that is to express. Then some books are like to inform, describe. Then some are to argue, like you're
Yeah.
raising your point of view, right? And you're backing your point, and then you're counter claiming the other's point. This is so there are more like there are few 5 to 6 general type of purposes which you have. You will
Yeah.
not have much more than that. I will give you everything. Okay. Now, when you are writing, you need to, like, when you're writing a review or analyzing a text, this is just again a brief overview what things you need to consider. First one is openings. Now, the start of the opening, how it is. Some, like, it depends on the writer. Some writers are, like, you have newspaper articles. Why are newspaper articles? They are to inform, right? So, this
Yeah.
is the basic, yeah. So you can have different, now it depends on your schools. That's the reason I told you, give me your syllabus. Now, same curriculum kids, they take different books and everything because it depends on the school as well. So please share your curriculum exactly so that I can go with that.
Yeah.
Then you need to comment on the beginning, of course, how it is. Like sometimes I'll tell you the writer is right, the word choice is too much interested, right? It's
Yeah.
intriguing to the audience. So comment on that. That is quote. You said now we quote, we wrote write quotations. So
Yeah.
what you need to do whenever you're commenting on something, like for example, you're saying that this line is the starting of this passage or this text is intriguing. How you find it? You have to give an evidence, that is the quotation from the text, that is your evidence. And then effect on readers, this is the most important thing. Now quoting will give you marks but not good marks. For let's say your review or essay review analysis of 20 marks, but if
Yeah.
you're only quoting and quoting, you will hardly get 7 to 8 marks, hardly. The most important thing is point, quote, and comment. Comment in the sense, comment on how it affects on readers, and sometimes what would be the writers, assume the writer's tendency of that writing that thing. Clear? So
Yeah.
commenting and explaining the quote will give you more marks if you are aiming for good marks. Okay, so comment that. Then focus. Sometimes, for example, I will just give you an example. Uh, for example, the writer is talking about his child. Now you said there is to express. Now he's like expressing his life experience. Let's say I for my Cambridge last month we did a analysis of a passage. The piece was related to expressing his grief and depression and how he tackled his alcohol addiction. This was a piece, and we were analyzing that piece. So, in the beginning, the writer was talking and expressing about his teenage.
Yeah.
Okay, he was expressing his teenage experience, and at the end, he went on talking about his childhood. So, the shift. See, earlier he was talking about his teenage and then he was talking about the childhood. This is the shift. You have to comment on the shifts, if any. Sometimes the essay is in a chronological order, like one by
Yeah.
one. For example, if it's talking about a life experience, childhood, teenage, middle age, and adulthood. But sometimes there is no chronology in the pieces, extracts. So you
Yeah.
have to, if you have any shifts, you comment on that shifts and how the shift, like how do you feel as a reader of this shift. Okay,
Mm.
then looking at connotations, I will give you everything in writing, don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, connotations, are you aware of connotations?
I think so.
Yeah, tell me what you know about connotations.
Um, Actually, I'm not sure. I think you should go ahead.
For example, now see here, this a gloomy, for example, let's say there is a description of a gloomy landscape in a text.
Yeah.
You're talking about literature. Have you read Macbeth?
No, but I've read Merchant of Venice, if that's better.
Merchant of Venice, yeah, Merchant of Venice, but I feel it's too boring. I like Macbeth. Yeah, right. So Merchant of Venice is quite boring. So sometimes, now for example, the writer is talking about gloomy landscape. What do you feel by reading this? It causes some unhappy situation,
Oh,
right?
is this like I know this. Isn't this like pathetic fallacy or something?
Yeah, but yeah, that's right. But that is the literary technique you're giving, language technique. But I'm explaining what is a connotation first. Now see here, what feeling you get by reading something. Now, but if you read gloomy landscape, you feel that something, there's an unhappy situation or something, right?
Yeah.
So this is a negative connotation which you get. Got it?
Hmm.
Hmm? So these are known as connotations. So we can
Yes.
also comment. Yeah, say.
So is it like the connotations basically what the text implies?
Exactly.
But like,
Exactly. In detail.
okay, okay.
Now, see, there are a lot of what I told you have everything similar, but just wrapped up in different ways.
Yeah.
Now, what the text implies, yeah, the connotation is in short what the text implies, whether it implies something positive, negative. There are basically, in general, there are three connotations: positive, negative, and neutral. Now, for example, the word inexpensive. What do you feel if I say inexpensive? It's giving you a positive connotation, right?
Yeah.
If I say affordable, it is neutral, neither positive nor negative, right?
Yeah.
If I say cheap,
That's
what
negative.
connotation you get? It's negative. So one word can be used in different connotations. This is what. So focus on the vocab, on the register of the language. Then the most important thing is repetition, that they are the repetition alliterations in your literary devices, because
Yeah.
most of in almost all pieces you will find this repetition. So why these ideas are repeated and what emphasis they create on the readers, you have to comment on that. Then the pace of writing, this is rare, you cannot find this in all. Now sometimes the writer is using simple and short sentences, that means the pace of writing is in speed. If there are long sentences, it's slow and it creates tension or boredom. In this situation he uses this. Okay, then temporal references is not important.
Wait, so the,
Now,
1 second. So the pace is basically depending on the punctuation then.
yeah, punctuation also, yeah, right, pace, correct. Then there are commas, that means there are a lot of pauses there. It also depends on the punctuations, correct, you got me right. Okay,
Yeah.
one more important thing, um, tone. I think here it's not mentioned. Do you know what is the tone?
Yeah, the tone is like in like what, yeah, like it's basically how the writer's like trying to like express
Right,
it, like in an angry
exactly.
way or something.
So you need to, I'll give you a few types of tones like formal, informal, then aggressive, positive, negative, optimistic, pessimistic. There are a lot of types of tone. So comment on tone, how you feel as readers when you talk about tone. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the conclusion, the ending, how it implies, what is it. Then